I want to share something that I have kept quiet about for quite some time. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I know that I'm not alone. And I know that there are tons of people out there who are probably in something very confusing. And if you're in something confusing right now, I need you to hear me. For years, you saw me as someone who was very optimistic, hopeful. You saw me as somebody talking about intuition and self-worth and boundaries. What you didn't see was as soon as I turned the camera off, I was very much so struggling. Struggling more than even those closest to me knew. I was in a situation where I felt unsafe and like my boundaries were being crossed constantly. I didn't report it at the time because I was very confused. It wasn't because it didn't matter. It was because I was overwhelmed. But the thing is that sometimes we don't need to hear a judge say that someone is guilty to know that our truth and our stories are valid, and that our stories deserve to be heard, and that they are real. When you're in something like that, your nervous system isn't thinking about paperwork or reliving the experiences in order to report it. You're not thinking about courtrooms, you're thinking about just being able to get through the day and just survive it, right? In fact, your nervous system doesn't even want to believe it. Because when you're in something like that, sometimes you don't even understand that you're in something like that. Because it doesn't look just one way. And I think the media and Hollywood has taught us to believe it has to look one way. But for many of us, it's not linear. Something that you may have been asked. Something I've been asked is, how didn't you know you would be able to call this out in a friend or a family member's relationship? Because there were a lot of good moments. There were some of the best moments. Some of the most vulnerable moments. And when you have those really good moments, it makes the bad ones seem almost like a sacrifice. Like maybe love and loyalty requires these moments. You don't see harm. You see potential because you're not seeing this person as somebody bad on TV that's made completely bad. You're seeing them as a human because you've also seen their vulnerable moments. And it's really confusing. See, you get addicted to finding those sparks because the sparks feel much larger when in between them, or more often, they're not there. It feels like a reward, but after a while you get drained. And you start second-guessing everything, but mostly yourself. And you start reacting in ways that are not like you. And those moments of reaction get highlighted to reaffirm that you were the problem. I'm not proud of every way that I reacted during that time. In fact, it's still something that I'm very embarrassed of. But now I understand that under chronic stress, you cannot exist as your regulated self. Being online as Kendall Hott helped me actually heal, though, because of a lot of the messages that I put out to you guys turned out were also for me. So if you're in something right now where you are starting to feel drained and like you don't recognize yourself, I want you to know that it's not your job to love someone into their potential. Even if you stayed longer than you should have, even if you didn't report, silence doesn't mean that it didn't happen. I see you.